And first of all, I want to get a perspective on just looking back at what we've seen in this third quarter. We've seen the likes of Union Bank lead the way, 100% return. So a very, very, very sweet quarter for any investor in equities market. Overall, we've seen the market return about 19%. Your broad thoughts on what we've seen. Do you think this is a move that is a bit too much for this time, in your view?
Well, it's a move that actually came in shocking. Nobody really expected.
I think most people were shocked.
Was just shocked to see the market going up. But again, you have to think about what really drove the market during this period. One, the bank earnings were good coming in. Banks like Access Bank, bank like GTB, and even First Bank. That was one. Then two, again, you look at the issue of market makers. I think, though, if you look at the movement, you realize that the week that market makers were actually introduced and started, were actually add more value to the all-share index than the previous weeks before then. So again, you look at that has addressed the major concern of the market before, which has been liquidity. So when you look at all these factors putting into consideration, then there was a lot of investors' confidence coming back. Mostly again when the earnings season was not only good in the banking sectors, even other sectors follow up. So it was a good season for the market, but it came as a shock. Ordinarily, at the time the market was going up in the Nigerian market over 3 to 4 years now, has actually been times that the market was supposed to be down.
But what do you expect in the fourth quarter? Of course, the key developments to look out for is the third quarter earnings season for the banks. Of course, we know that there's privatization in the power sector. There's a lot of optimism around that. So we'll see that being completed sometime next month. So broadly, some good news coming up for the economy. We see inflation coming down as well. That should be positive. We've seen bond yields come down as well. So your thoughts for the equity market in the fourth quarter?
It should be very great in the first quarter. But like you say, like sometimes the Nigerian market has always defied every known fundamentals. But when you look at the third quarter coming in, you see the market has been a little bit stagnant for some time. You just see some little gradual movement, mostly during the beginning of this week. The market needs a stimulus, and that stimulus can only come as a result of the earnings result that will come away from mostly the banks again. Generally, it's the bank that actually pull the market into the direction that you expect the market to go. And if we look at the first and second quarters that have come up from this bank, we won't expect anything, but we will expect more better result coming in the third quarter.
What about for the cement companies? For the year, they've been up just under 20%, of course, dominated by Dangote Cement. This quarter, they've been up maybe less than 10%. Your thoughts on where the value that you see generated for the cement companies as we begin to see the third quarter numbers as well?
Well, I think the cement company has been a little bit disappointing, because of some of the results have not really been as impressive as people expect from probably like CCNN, Asheka Cement. Though Asheka Cement was a little bit better, even Dan Cement too was not as better as it used to be. So I think maybe that is why investors are really trying to pull back a little and looking that there are other sectors which are cheaper than that are doing well. And again, initially you would have said, okay, this quarter will be better because of the power situation has improved. But you realize that most of all these cement companies actually have their independent power plant. So it couldn't have been affecting them that much.
Okay, so give me your best ideas for the quarter. Are we looking at banks? Are we looking at cement companies? Is it more of the FMCGs, consumer good companies?
I think we should look at banks, then we should not forget the cement companies too, because they always come out with some shocking, surprising results sometimes. Then you shouldn't take your eyes off the brewery sector too.
So in the cement space, maybe Lafarge-Waco?
Lafarge-Waco, you're talking about that, then maybe CCNN.
All right.
Maybe.
Well, we'll see how it plays.